Hello there, my name is Thomas O'Regan and I'm a professional property investor here in Australia. Today I wanted to talk about how important it is to aggressively acquire your property portfolio when you're starting out or when you're scaling your property portfolio. Now, let's just make it clear. One person buys 6 properties in a year versus one person buys 6 properties every year for the next 6 years. So what is the actual difference between buying 6 properties in 1 year and 1 property every 6 years? Now let's just say the properties you're buying are $300,000, and let's just say for this example the properties are going up by 50 grand each year, every year. So there's a few aspects that I'll explain to you that are negatively impacting the person that is slowly scaling their portfolio, and then on the flip side, the person who has aggressively acquired the property portfolio are getting benefits. Okay, so if you buy 6 properties in 1 year in the current market conditions of that year, let's say you buy 6 properties, $300,000, each one of them is the same price, same market, and that's that, right? And for this example, just to keep it simple, the properties that you acquired are going up by $50,000 each year. Okay, so one person goes out and buys 6 in whatever 1 year. So they secure their position. How much? Let's say they use 100% debt. So 6 times 300 is 1.8 mil. So they have $1.8 million worth of debt, and they have $1.8 million worth of property. And no one's ever gonna, just to be clear, this is an example, no one's ever gonna buy a property with 100% debt, but let's just keep the numbers simple. So the other person goes out and buys a $300,000 property in the first year, they wait a year, and then they buy another property. But what's happened with the property? It's gone up 50 grand, because in this example, the properties go up 50 grand each year. Okay, so they buy the second property for 350. They buy another property in the next year for 400. They buy another property in the next year for 450. They buy another property in the next year for 500. How many properties have they got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they buy their last 6th property in year 6 for 550. How much debt do they have on their property portfolio? Well, in the first example, the person had $1.8 million worth of debt. And in this example, same person's bought the same property, like they could be literally the same properties, but it's just spread out over a period of time because the market's gone up year after year. They have $2.55 million worth of debt. Okay, so what is $2.55 million worth of debt minus $1.8 million worth of debt? They have effectively spent $750,000 more than the person who would have acquired the property portfolio quickly. Okay, now what is the actual net difference between those two people? Okay, so one has the debt, and again, this is an example. People don't buy properties with 100% debt. You use like a 20% deposit or a 10% deposit, like an 80 or a 90% LVR. So that's a normal situation, but this is just a simple example to illustrate the difference between acquiring a property portfolio quickly and slowly. Okay, so basically the net difference is 750 grand. One person has $2.55 million worth of debt, which is substantially more. One person has 1.8. So let's say in year 6, all of the properties that have been acquired are $550,000. Okay, so what's 550 times 6? $3.3 million. So one person, assuming they never paid off a cent of the debt, first person acquired the property portfolio quickly. They have $1.8 million worth of debt. They have a property portfolio worth $3.3 million. Their net position, if they were to sell all the properties for $550 each in year 6, is $1.5 million. That's their net position. They acquire the property portfolios quickly. They have a net position of $1.5 million. What is the other person's net position? So they sell the properties for 550. So they also sell the property portfolio for $3.3 million, but they have a debt of $2.55 million. So their net position is $750,000. So it's basically half. Their net position is basically half, and that's due to acquiring the properties slowly. So hopefully that's helped illustrate why when I'm building a property portfolio, I like to acquire it as quickly as humanly possible. Now, you can't always buy 6 properties in a year, but the point is buy them as quickly as you can. Buy the properties, scale the property portfolio as quickly as you can. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.